Imagine you are presenting a marketing report, but a simple bar chart just isn't cutting it. You need something more dynamic, something that truly captures the trends and highlights key insights. As I have covered in one of my previous videos, PowerPoint comes with over 60 charts to choose from. It is loaded with charting features that go beyond the ordinary. It's like having a secret weapon for creating visually captivating and insightful presentations. This video will introduce you to 3 charting gems that are outside of frequently used chart types. If you know how and when to use them, they can help transform your presentations and make your slides stand out. Let's begin with the first one. So if you have numeric data in your presentations, by numeric I mean whenever you are capturing a number as a data point, for example, let's say you are capturing age of your customers, that's a numeric data. If you are capturing number of days or time or percentages, that can be classified as numeric data. So for such kind of data, consider using the histogram chart. The histogram chart is a bit of a superhero when it comes to understanding data distribution. Imagine you are looking at customer demographics. The histogram chart will visually show you the distribution of ages, location, or any other data point, making patterns and trends incredibly clear. Now I have this age data here. So we have a data for 100 customers in our database, and here we have their ages captured. Now typically when we show this data in our report, we will just take an average for this and show a single number like this one. So here is what I mean. Now this is fine, however, it doesn't really tell us what is the composition of our age groups, what is the minimum, what is the maximum. So consider using a histogram chart. It's quite easy to create it. Let's go to a blank slide, go to insert, click on chart, click on histogram chart, click OK. I'm going to copy my age data from here. Let's copy all the 100 data points and paste them here. Let's close the data sheet. Let's understand this chart. What PowerPoint has done is it has distributed our 100 data points into 5 buckets, which are these 5 bars. The starting age interval is 18 and it ends with 88. Although we don't have any values above 80, PowerPoint just automatically treats the maximum as 88. So let's change this chart a bit. Double click on the horizontal axis. Under axis options, click on number of bins. Now bins are nothing but these bars. Right now it's set at 5. Let's increase that to 10. And this looks much more detailed and gives us more information than just with 5 bins. Also, you'll notice that the maximum age value is set at 79 now, which is correct. Let's fix this decimal point issue. Under number, under categories, select a number and change the decimal places to a 0. This should fix it. Now let's remove the horizontal axis. Let's get rid of the title. I'm going to shrink this chart a bit and then duplicate this slide. Let's copy our chart onto that slide. Let's move things around a bit. And there, now this chart tells us a lot more information versus the previous slide, which just gives us this one number. Here, with this chart accompanying this average number, we can tell a couple of things. One is, what does the age distribution looks like? So we can see that the age groups are skewed towards younger people more, and as we increase in age, the numbers go down. We can add one more data point here to give our audience one more piece of information, which is what is the range of our age. So 18 to 80 or even 79, since 79 is the maximum we have. Let's place that here like so. And this is a significant improvement over the previous slide. So whenever you have numeric data, I highly recommend you consider histogram chart. Do not underestimate it. It can bring out a lot of trends and insights that you might miss otherwise by just reporting average numbers like this. Next up, let's talk about rating scales. Whenever you ask Questions like rate a product on a scale of 1 to 5 about some metric like satisfaction or recommendation. We typically call that a rating scale question. For rating scale questions, we typically show the data in horizontal bar chart format. So here you will notice that for the satisfaction question, we are showing the data like so. So we have the ratings 1 through 5 being shown here, and on the right hand side we have clubbed together the top 2 ratings, bottom 2, and the middle 3, which would be 3, 4, and 5. Now these are fine, they work. However, I have a better suggestion, which is an area chart. So I've taken the same data and split each of these products into a separate chart, and at a quick glance you can notice the trends in our values. So if you compare here, it's difficult to see what the trend is overall. Here you will notice that the trends are a lot clearer compared to a stack bar chart. For example, product A, B, and C, middle values are the highest across the 3, while for product C is the reverse. So this product C is much more polarized. People choose to rate either the highest or the lowest, and very few people choose to be in the middle, which is opposite of A, B, and C, where they choose to be a lot safer by picking the middle value. So just at a glance, you can tell that product C is different than product A, B, and D, which would be lost in this kind of a chart. For the right hand side chart, we have the exact same data, but you can see that the trends look a lot different compared to when we are showing the data by individual ratings. So if you compare product B with product B here, product B here looks a lot more linear, but here you can see it goes up and then comes down again. So depending on how you choose to report this kind of data, it can give you a lot more insights versus just using a bland stack bar chart like this. I have rarely seen anyone using area chart for rating scale data, so I highly encourage people to try and see what comes out of it. It's very easy to create this chart. So go to insert, click on chart, select the area chart, select the very first chart, click OK. I have the data saved for this here. I'm just going to copy 1 to 5 scale data, go to my chart, paste the values here, remove these extra rows. Let's fix the chart. Right now our rows are columns and columns are rows. So click on select data, then click on this option called switch row and column. Click OK, and you will see that our values have appeared. Let's remove the legend. Click delete. Now we need to color this better to differentiate between the ratings. So 1 needs to be visually different from 5. For that, let's use a gradient. So while the area is selected, go to the shape fill on the right hand side, click on gradient fill. And because I already have the gradient set up, it's taken those values automatically. But if you were to use this yourself, for the left side pin, I have selected an orange color. For the middle pin, which comes up to here, I have picked a yellow color, and for the right hand side pin, for this value, I have picked a green color. So it's really easy to set up. The good thing about this chart is even with a smaller size, the chart holds up just as well. So you can still make out the trends, and it will also allow you to fit in many charts on one slide. So I highly recommend this chart for this kind of a data. For the third and final example, let's talk about cascading or waterfall chart. Let's say you have website traffic data like this one. So here I have 24-hour data for website traffic. So each hour shows how many people visited the website. Now for this kind of a data, the obvious choice is of course a column chart. This works fine. However, to get more out of this data, I recommend a cascading or a waterfall chart, which shows us what is the quantum of the change from one bar to the next. So right now you can visually tell that some bars are higher, others are lower, but you can't really tell what is this difference here and what is the drop from here to here. You'll have to manually do the calculations, which I doubt anybody would do it. So this just ends up being a good looking chart, but you can't really use use it much. So if we use a waterfall chart, this is how it would look. So let's understand this chart. So for the first hour, we had 12 visitors. For the next hour, we gained 9 more visitors. For the third hour, we lost 8 visitors. Then we picked back up by 5, then again dropped by 4, and so on. So this chart is much more dynamic, and it clearly tells us that during the evening hours, we had the most of the traffic, but during the night the traffic dropped significantly, and then it picked back up in the morning and afternoon hours, which is what we would expect. So this chart is an improvement over the previous chart, as it tells us a lot more information. If you do have to use this chart, that is fine, but consider supplementing that chart with this chart as well. So you can maybe put both these charts side by side, so that ways people have a choice of either just taking a quick glance and moving on, or if they want to dive deeper, they can look at this chart and gain more insights. This chart is also straightforward to create. Go to Insert, click on Chart, click on Waterfall Chart, which is at the bottom, click OK. I have my data saved here. Now, a couple of notes regarding this data. Now, the first column I have here are the same number of visits per hour, but for the waterfall chart, we need to calculate the differences from one hour to the next. So here for the first hour, I just have the opening numbers, which are exactly as we have them. Then for the second hour, we need to subtract the 21 visitors from 12 to know that we gain 9 visitors. And then for the third hour, we need to know how many visitors did we lose. So when we went from 21 to 13, we lost 8 users. So I have calculated this by using these simple formulas. So here in this cell, I'm just subtracting this 21 from 12. Then for the next cell, I am subtracting 13 from 21. For this cell, I'm subtracting 18 from 13, and so on. So it's a simple calculation. It doesn't take more than a minute to do. But in order to use a waterfall chart, you will have to first prepare these values. I have these values prepared here. So I'm just going to copy these two and paste them here. Let's close the data sheet. You'll see that it's not showing all the values. So we need to fix that. Click on Select Data. Now here, in the chart data range, it's not picking up all the values. It's only picking up to row 9, which is what this B9 is. And we have up to row 25. So we just need to change this 9 to the last row, which in our case is 25. Click OK. And that's fixed the problem for us. Then right click and add data labels. Now it shows the values as well. And that's how easy it is to create a waterfall chart. Now this video just gave you a glimpse of how to use these powerful chart types in different scenarios. The next step is to practice and experiment. Start by creating simple charts and then gradually add more features and customizations. If you need more ideas on chart types, check out my how to playlist in the description. You will find tons of creative uses of standard chart types and detailed tutorials of how to create those charts. That's it for this one. Please leave a like and subscribe for future videos, and I will catch you next time.